Hi guys, welcome to NSJC Vaping. I'm Perry and this is Mark. So this is going to be the second video in the How Good Are Clones series, and today we're going to be looking at the AV Shock and Awe mech mod with the Payload RDA. So we're going to take a closer look at that. Hope you enjoyed the first video. Why are you wearing sunglasses?
It's blocking out the haters.
Right.
Mark here. So guys, this is the Shock and Awe by AV and also the Payload RDA. These are clones. I'm just pointing that out from the beginning, and these came from Knucklehead Vapes. A really nice bunch of people there actually sent it out, came out really quick, but let's see what it's like and let's see what we've got. So, you know, it's a nice cardboard box, you know. At the end of the day, it is a clone. You're not going to get it in a blow moulded case or anything like that, you know. You get it in a cardboard box, but, you know, you still get it in a cool sleeve, a little bit of packaging in there, you know, so it's better than nothing. So this is basically the mod. It's solid brass. I mean, it's got a big switch at the bottom, and as you guys can probably tell, it is essentially styled like a bullet. It's really good. So we're just taking a few sort of specs of this. Now, it does come out, it is quite odd. I mean, the total length, excluding the protruding disc for the hybrid top cap, you're probably looking at about 103, 104. Now, the top, 22 to 23 millimeters, but at the bottom, oh, you can see how strong the magnets are. This is about 31 to 32, so it really does taper out. But what we're going to do, we're going to set it to one side, and then we're going to actually strip it down so you can see the insides of this. So we'll set that to one side. So that is the packaging. Nice little cool thing of AV on there. We know it's not real, but there we go. Next thing we're going to have a look at is the Payload RDA. Now, again, this is a clone. I think it's packaged quite well, actually, to be perfectly honest. Comes in this nice case. It's now, I have already opened this. It was just to put a build in there. Now this is a 22mm RDA, and the reason why I got this is A, because it's going to look really cool on the top of the Shock and Awe, and B, because it's going to sit flush. In the last video we did for the Colito, you'll notice I talked about the 510 and how it's not protruding. As you can see on this one, this is protruding a lot. This is certainly hybrid compatible, so yeah, this is meant to go on there. But again, we're going to take this apart when we do the mod, and I'll show you the deck, I'll show you the screws, and give you my overall thoughts, and then we're going to bring it back up to the top and give it a vape. I've got the whole thing stripped apart, and we're going to put it back together, and we're going to talk about it along the way like we always do. So we're going to start from the bottom, and like we always do, work our way back up to the top. So let's start with the switch section of this and the bottom part of this mod. We did some measurements earlier. We will clarify those measurements again. They are the bottom base, the outside edges is, yeah, it's getting to be 30 mil. So it's a big button. It's a big switch. Looking at the overall design, as you can see from this the marking here, I have used this mod. I wanted to use it just to make sure that everything was okay, and it is. It really is. These 4 holes here, these are your vent holes. So yeah, always make sure they're nice and clear. Other than that, it's pretty solid. It's completely it's solid. It's made out of brass. Now these are your magnets, dual magnets. They're very powerful, to be perfectly honest, and we'll talk about why they've got to be very powerful. So what I'm actually going to do next is I'm going to take up the bottom of the mod. So you can see in the bottom of the mod there, you've got the other magnet. That's singular inside, and it's held in by an internal C-clip. That's held in place, that's not going to move. These 2 magnets obviously need to go in opposing, and even me just trying to push this in against that magnet is pretty difficult. So obviously we want to insert that in to the switch like so, and then obviously once they're in, then we want to try, and you can actually see the force of it actually physically trying to push that other magnet out of the way, and that just slots into place like that. Now that's the easiest bit. The most difficult part of this is getting your connection. You need a long screwdriver. You need a long flathead screwdriver. Now the best thing I've found is to release the button so it's the nib is just coming through the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. And the idea of this is, it's going to take a few goes, guys, but you just drop this in like that. Hope it goes in first go, like it just did. Take your nice long screwdriver, and then we're just going to pick up the end of the thread on the bottom of the switch like so. And again, you don't need to go crazy on this, you know, because it is a small thread and we don't want to be snapping that. There we go, that is the button. Now, why does it have to be that strong? The reason why it has to be that strong purely is there's no button lockout on this mod, and it sits predominantly like that. Now obviously we don't want this pressing down and unloading the battery constantly, so it has to be a strong, powerful switch so it can sit there and stand. The force required to push that switch, you can see from my knuckles, they're going white to actually push that down, so it's good. You know, it's nice and solid. So that is the mod. The threading here for the 510, it's really nice. It's really nice and smooth. Now this 510 cap, you'll notice there's a ridge on here and it's flat on this side. The ridge goes inside, so it's just an added area cut out for the battery, you know. So there's no possible way that can touch, and that just threads on like so. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the Payload RDA and we're going to screw this hybrid top cap straight onto the bottom of this Payload. Now you'll see how much that's protruding. That's protruding a hell of a lot. You can see me just touching it there. I mean, that's really is protruding, and I like that. That's good, you know, that's safe. I do like that. The only thing that I would like to see on the inside of this mod that unfortunately they haven't put in an internal insulator. So there's no insulator inside of this mod. So from when the point where your button comes up and makes contact with your battery, I'd like to see an insulator around there. There isn't, so please people bear in mind. So what we're going to do, we're just going to need to grab a battery. So let's grab a battery. I'm using a battery from our good old friend Torchy. Now this, we're just going to screw this down just onto the battery like so, and there we are. Now let's talk about this this deck. It's the Payload RDA. It's got like a 3-post design, so your negatives are on the outside and your positives in the middle. I've got some nichrome flat wire, and that's 6 wrap. You know, it's a nice build. I like it. The air vents on this are pretty cool. So you've got your bottom air vents which line up on your top cap through these holes here. So you know, you're drawing air from the underside of the coils and out, but also, which is really cool, it's also drawing air in from the side, and it goes through the negative posts, down and under and through. So you need to make sure that through your air holes from the side, you need to have no obstruction. So you really got to be quite careful on where you put your placement of the wicks, and really not overwick it. In fact, looking at it, I think I may have overwicked it a little bit, so I'm just gonna have to move some of that out of the way before we go up close. But you know, the screws on the top, I've had no screws shear. You know, none of the centre post moves. So you know, all in all, it's good. So, and again, the top cap just goes on there like that. I think the only thing that I found with this that I would like to see done better would be when you put this cap on, like so, you get a little gap round here. Well, the only way that you'll take that out is by shaving down the 510. It's certainly possible, because it's certainly big enough, because you need to bring your whole RDA down onto the mod a little bit more. That's something that I may well do, but I just wanted to leave it and show you guys what it was like. That's personally just what I found with this particular mod. So yeah, by putting it on, lining your air holes up, the air holes line up reasonably well. You can see there's a bit of a material sticking through the top here and top here. So you know, guys, I think this could come down a little bit more. I may take a little bit off the end of the 510 on this, just to make that sit flush on there. But there we are. So we're going to juice it, we're going to bring it back up close, and we're going to go for it.
Hi guys, welcome back up. So yeah, there you have it.
Yeah, you know, there we go, guys. So that's the Shock and Awe by AV and the Payload RDA. Guys, I'm putting this straight out there right now. These are both clones. What do I think? Yeah, I can't really complain at all. It's made out of solid brass. That button is the heaviest switch I've ever felt. There's only one mod that has a heavier switch than that, and that's the Bane that I know of. And that is, you know, that switch on that is phenomenal. It really is. Everything, the threading, the whole lot is really, really good. So, you know, I like it. I like the look of it. You know, I mean,
you always wanted a mod that looks like a bullet, didn't you?
Yeah, I have. I like it. You know, and guys, the packaging, all right. You know, you're not going to get, you know,
no, you're not going to get high-end packaging for this, but at the end of the day, you know, and this is where it's really good for me and myself and Mark, because personally, I don't really like mechanical mods. I think, you know, unless you know absolutely 120,000% what you're doing, don't get them. Because, you know, we see so many horror stories and, you know, batteries going and whatnot. That's the time for another video, but they tend to be going on people who think they know what they're doing with mechanical mods. So only get these clones, and even authentic ones, if you know what you're doing.
Exactly, and we really can't stress that enough. But you know, I do know what I'm doing, and I really enjoy using mechanical mods, and I like this one. I do. I like the airflow. I think it's cool. I think the whole deck thing threw me off a bit with the airflow at the bottom and the airflow down the sides through the negative posts. I like it. You know, I haven't had any of the little screws shear on me. I've had a few builds in there. I mean, that is the other thing. It's heavy. You're not going to want to take that about anywhere.
No,
really.
Exactly.
That's really just for, you know, when we're sitting in here having a laugh, and I can just vape that. I'm not going to be taking that about because it weighs a ton.
And I think the gap that Mark was talking about in the close-up, I think, you know, without getting an authentic, we're not going to know if that gap is actually there or not. Probably not.
I've never seen an authentic one of these. I know they're very, very difficult to get hold of. You know, we got it from Knucklehead Vapes.
Yes, we did.
And they're a reputable place. And guys, you can go there and you can pick them up. They're $34.99.
Yeah, that was the other thing. One of the comments in the episode 1 that we did of how good are clones, one of the comments was, why didn't we let them know where we got it from?
Which was the scoundrel.
Which was the scoundrel. To be honest with you, that came and went so quickly, we can't find it anymore. It was off eBay, so, you know...
They're all going to be much of a muchness, really.
But like Mark says, this one was off of this website below.
This is Knucklehead Vapes. So the actual mod is $34.99, and the Payload Tactical Warhead Style RDA is on sale at the moment for $13.99. So guys, you know, that's not bad, but please, please, please be aware, you know, it's a mechanical mod, it's not a regulated device, you've really got to know what you're doing. But, you know, all in all, I think for that gap, I will sort that. I will just take down that ridiculously massive 510. And that's going to sort that issue out for me straight away. I know that straight away. You know, and once that's sorted out, you know, it's just the aesthetics, but the actual firing, you know, it fires like a beaut. So guys, let us know what you think about the series. If you like us doing How Good Are Clones, if you want to see more about this series, then yeah, let us know and we will do more videos. Thanks ever so much for watching. Your comments are appreciated. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one. Cheers guys, thanks a lot.